Roblox obstacle courses have been around since 2006, and nowadays some obbies can be 10 hours long or even longer if you really take it that far. And they can also be the hardest obbies to ever be completed on Roblox, or just outright humanly impossible. But what does every Roblox obstacle course have in common? Well, it's that it has a format. Towers, for example, have their own format, just like how difficulty chart obbies are called difficulty charts. But there is no way that there can be over like 20 formats in total, right? Wrong, there's actually over 50 obby formats somehow. So with that said, I guess it's time to explain literally each and every single one of them. The obby format by itself. Excuse me, wait, do you even play Roblox if you don't know what this means? Well, either way, this format is simply an acronym for obstacle course, and every single obby on Roblox automatically goes into this format. Towers. Towers are widely known from Eternal Towers of Hell and Tower of Hell. These are Roblox obbies with 10 floors that you progress through until you get to the win pad at the end, or possibly fail the last jump.
What? No! No, bro!
However, the tower format originates from Kiddy's Towers of Hell in 2018, which was made by Obby, but then Obby was like nah and went on to create Tower of Hell along with Pixel Dev after Kato was given to Juke Color and renamed into Juke's Towers of Hell, which now became Eternal Towers of Hell after Juke Color did some dubious activities, as one might say, that once again resulted into the game being given to a new owner. So yeah, if it wasn't for this silly tower game, then Roblox Tower of Hell would have never been created. Although an Eto tower can last anywhere from like 5 minutes up to like 10 hours, I guess. Well, there really isn't a limit to how long an obby can be, so it's all the builder's choice. Floor. This format simply stands for one section out of the 10 or more sections a Roblox tower has. Edifice. This is a Roblox tower with only 3 floors. I don't know why you would make one of these unless you're super lazy to make an actual tower though. Steeple. Yet again, this is a format used for a tower that usually has between 5 or 6 floors. Please stop building these, you're honestly lazy, just make a tiered obby at this point. Citadels. Citadels are literally just upgraded towers with 11 or more floors, with a limit of 25 floors. Obelisks. This format is what comes next after a citadel, and an obelisk can have anywhere between 26 to 50 total floors. Great Citadel. Wow, could you guess what this means? Yup, that's right, a Roblox tower with 50 or more floors up until 100 floors. And oh wait, what's that? There's like over 20 of these tower formats made by the community that I haven't explained, so here's each one of them on screen if you really wanna know each one of them, but anyways. Tiered obbies. Tiered obbies have their own decently sized community with years of Roblox history behind it, just like towers. And this format of course stands for none other than tiered obbies. There are 18 total humanly possible tiers, and anything above tier 18 is just humanly impossible to complete for basically the rest of time. What's unique about these obbies though is that each tier is thought to be twice as hard as the last difficulty, resulting in a tier 18 obby being like 72,312 times harder than Tower of Hell if you go by a geometric sequence, although this isn't really accurate. However, you can basically do anything you want to do with a tiered obby as long as it follows the very default Roblox physics with nothing that alters that, because tiered obbies originate from people building obbies that use the very basic Roblox physics without like any scripts and stuff. For example, here's a difficult but basic tiered obby that requires a lot of physics knowledge and experience. And then on the other hand, here's a tiered obby with design that I could never in a million years create, which was made by somebody that has less than 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, this community has some dedicated members to say the least. The jank format. This format usually stands for a complex but specific gameplay style that's often used among towers and tiered obbies. The only way to really describe this type of gameplay is that it's usually clamped and there's like a lot of parts above your head, which will usually block you from being able to jump normally and instead making you do stuff like this. And mastering this gameplay style is usually a significant part about being one of the best Roblox hobbyists, since you do need this skill set quite often. Technical obbies. This is also a format that's used for a specific gameplay style, often found in the hardest obbies ever created on Roblox, which requires technical precision to master and become consistent at, mostly using specific strategies to your advantage as the jump could otherwise be impossible. Purist. What determines an obby being purist is whether or not it uses client objects or any scripted objects. So basically any Roblox obby that uses fading platforms, for example, or spinners will not be purist, but an obby with no scripts whatsoever will be considered purist. This is also a major term often used in the tiered obby community, as most of those obbies are purist. Client object obbies. Ditto. Unlike purist obbies, this refers to obbies that use a lot of creative mechanics and scripts, usually to make the obby more fun and interesting. But this can also have the exact opposite effect and confuse the player, making them uninterested. Like personally, I absolutely hate client objects. Linear obbies. This format is used for obbies that use no rotational or complex gameplay whatsoever and instead use a linear style of gameplay, such as wraparounds, stickouts, and long jumps. Consistency obbies. Every single difficult Roblox obstacle course will of course require you to become consistent at it, but this format specifically refers to obbies that go beyond average consistency levels by being over 30 minutes long, requiring you to mostly focus on the consistency side of things with a lot of practice in order to complete that said obby. For example, the hardest tower ever beaten on Roblox right now is about 2 hours long, which absolutely requires inhuman consistency levels beyond what could be described to do 2 hours of difficult gameplay without failing a single time, as that would result in your death. Memory obbies. I feel like this format is very unknown since nobody wants to endure memory obbies, and this format stands for memory sections that use invisible parts or like can collide force parts in towers or any kind of Roblox obbies. And the hardest tower ever beaten on Roblox right now also has an entire memory based floor. And no, this is not exploiting, this is actually the path you have to follow. Camera control obbies. Every single Roblox game you've ever played, you have to obviously control your camera for basic player actions all the time. But this format specifically refers to obbies that use this to their advantage, making you control your camera with extreme precision in order to land the majority of the jumps. Ah yes, I love when towers make me wiggle my camera. Oh, and by the way, this skill set also will give you a lot of hand pain, so good luck, man. Raw difficulty obbies. This format usually refers to tiered obbies or towers that are like extremely short and instead focus on the extremely precise and difficult jumps, aka the raw difficulty of every single jump, if that makes sense, which adds on to the difficulty of the tower by being like super short and having extremely precise jumps. One jump obbies. This format has different names that the Roblox Obby community uses, but this usually refers to the top jumps community, which is a Roblox community that focuses on keeping track of the hardest jumps ever landed on Roblox. And the current hardest jump ever landed on Roblox is this jump right here. It's 2 minutes long because it abuses the lodging glitch to its maximum humanly possible precision. So yeah, these obbies are really no joke. It's extremely tedious to do one jump obbies. The top obbies format. This is just simply a format that often refers to any of the top 100 hardest obbies ever beaten on Roblox, whether or not it's from the tiered obby community or the top towers community or whatever else there is out there. Classic obbies. Many kind of Roblox obby games and towers and tiered obbies can fall into this category, but this just usually refers to classic obbies that use like very minimal design or no design whatsoever and they have very linear gameplay. So yeah, the format just kind of speaks for itself basically. Mixed obbies. This format refers to obbies that use many multiple different skill sets combined together, such as all the previously mentioned gameplay styles into the same tower, for example, and many Roblox obbies out there can fall into this category. Difficulty charts. Come on, do you even play Roblox if you don't know what this means? Any Roblox Obby games that have a chart of multiple difficulties requiring you to advance through each one of them to get further will count into this format. And wait, what? I'm sorry, what? There's no way you don't know what difficulty charts are. Story obbies. A stereotypical obby is a perfect example of a game that would fall into this format, even though it's kind of like a horror type of obby. These games can have either multiple endings or have a story behind them that you as the player can figure out. It kind of speaks for itself. Glitch obbies. Any kind of Roblox obbies that uses many obby glitches will fall into this category, such as dance clips, laugh clips, lodges, wall hops, and even avoiding death by lagging your game out and stepping on instant kill bricks if you wanna take it that far. Because yes, that's somehow possible to do on Roblox. I don't know how and why, it just is, alright? Escape obbies. Escape the hospital obby, escape the dungeon obby, escape the grumpy grandma obby, escape scary obby. You get my point, and these obbies are what I had to play as a child, luckily. So I'm truly sorry for all the children that will have fucking tongue sahur and Italian brain rot memes as their childhood memories or whatever might be trending by the time you watch this video.
On tonight's video, we are going to draw Tung Sahur at 3 a.m.
Get eaten obbies. Okay, wait, I don't know if it's just me, but these games kinda shouldn't really exist. I feel like the concept is kind of disturbing if you think about it. Either way though, these obbies are just similar to escape obbies, except you get eaten by some giant noob or something at the end. Time trials. This format of obbies has an entire community behind it, just like many other formats in this video. And there are also many time trial games out there, but this format simply stands for extremely short trials that you have to speedrun as fast as humanly possible, until you get that one impressive world record attempt, considering many of these have went viral on TikTok. Flood Escape obbies. Any map that's made as part of Flood Escape and Flood Escape 2 will fall into this category instantly, as that's what this format originates from. To put it simply though, it's just water or lava rising below you while you have to go as fast as you can to escape the map that you are playing. These maps can either be short and simple, or the most atrocious and fast-paced obbies ever built on Roblox that require hundreds of hours of attempts to complete. Speedrun obbies. This category is actually different from time trials and Flood Escape obbies. Obbies within this category can go from something as simple as the classic Roblox obby game known as Obby King, to something as tedious as whatever you're watching on screen is. This is Mesmerizer Tower, by the way. Usually though, this refers to any kind of obbies that give you a limited amount of time to complete a map or stage within. So I guess Flood Escape 2 maps could also go into this category at the end of the day. Two-player obbies. Any game on Roblox such as Articulture or Chained can instantly be thrown into this category. This basically refers to any Roblox obby games that can't be played alone without a second player or third player, if not even more than 3 players in some cases. Oh, and while searching this format up on Roblox obbies for editing purposes, I came along quite a few freaky games to say the least. What is going on Roblox, guys? Like, what is this? Laddering obbies. This format originates from steep steps and goes on by many different names such as mountain obbies, but it's all the same thing, as these are all community made maps using the steep steps laddering mechanic, because there is apparently an entire community behind this obby format that continues to create ladder obbies, although there are probably many more unknown obby communities out there that have made their own obbying formats. This really shocked me how there's just a random community that continued the steep steps format though. Puzzle obbies. The Roblox Mega Hunt event for $1 million actually kinda falls into this category, since there were many parts scattered around the games that participated, where you had to actually do obbies even though it was really simple. And simply enough, this format just refers to any kind of obbies that have a mixture of puzzles within them. So basically this format will automatically scare away all the kids that are looking for more slop games instead of using their brain for a single minute. Troll obbies. Slap Tower is a perfect example of this category, since troll obbies will always be Roblox games where you can troll other players. Although it can also be games such as I Wanna Test the Game, which will usually just be the obby itself that will troll you. And usually the purpose of these games is to make you rage quit. I think you just have anger issues if you rage at this. Draw obbies. I feel like this is really unknown for some reason, but yeah, there are actually a few Roblox games where you have to draw your own obstacle course, which I actually find really interesting. I would honestly love if somebody made an extremely difficult Roblox obby with this format. Vehicle obbies. These obstacle courses aren't really around anymore all that often, since they were usually extremely classic Roblox obbies such as this part in the Impossible Obby. However, there are some games out there that will fall into this format even nowadays. Wipeout obbies. Wipeout obstacle courses such as the 80s Wipeout Obby have been around since the very early days of Roblox. Nowadays though, this format refers to obstacle courses that look like this, and I have zero clue why this Wipeout Obby has a 28% like ratio. This literally has the easiest gameplay you could put in an obstacle course. There's actually no way that this game's player base isn't like 5 years old. No jump obbies. Yet again, the format is self-explanatory. I don't know why you wouldn't get this one. This refers to obbies where you can't jump. Custom started character obbies. Any Roblox game that uses a custom started character in order to alter an obstacle course will be part of this format, and this simply stands for games such as Obby Bayura Bar or Obby Bayura Rat. Elite obbies. To my knowledge, this format basically refers to professional Roblox obbies before tiered obbies and towers had come to life. So this was more of a 2016 type of trend where players created extremely difficult obstacle courses and called them elite obbies. Training courses. Sometimes elite obbies were actually used as training courses back then, and this format of obbies was also mostly around back in like 2018 and beforehand. Obby practice games. Similarly to training courses, this format refers to games that let you practice a specific kind of jump or hundreds of obstacle course jumps. And if you've ever played one of these wall hop practice games or obby practice games, then that's what this format refers to. Meme obbies. Sigma Boy Obby, Italian Brain Rot Obby, you get my point, and 99.995% of these obbies, they will just be complete slop. Open world obbies. This format is honestly self-explanatory, but due to the mass inflation of real Rosa fans who are under the age of 10, games within this format will usually not have many concurrent players. Because who actually likes well-designed obby games that have so much more content to them? Yeah, so basically these games are fire if you actually bother to play them. With the best examples I can give of open world obbies being Who Am I and Abyss World. Actual humanly impossible obbies. Any towers or tiered obbies within this format, such as the Citadel or Void, will be humanly impossible to ever complete, even if you grind it for like 1,000 years. And a huge portion of the Roblox obby community often argues about what is and isn't humanly possible. So to put it simply, the nil difficulty is where everything becomes humanly impossible for towers, and for tiered obbies it's anything above the tier 18 difficulty. Minigame obbies. Roblox battles and epic minigames fall into this format, as this refers to any Roblox games with multiple minigames that usually have obstacle course action going on within them. Speedrunner obbies. Note that this is very different from speedrun obbies, as this refers to games such as Sonic Speed Simulator, where the entire purpose of the game is to run fast, even though you don't actually have to speedrun it. And I guess Speedrun 4 can also go into this category. R15 obbies. Dude, what the actual mind-boggling crazy f is wrong with you if you're purposely playing obbies on R15 and not R6? IQ obbies. Math equation obbies fall right into this category, where you have to answer the math question correctly in order to get further into the obstacle course. But once again, most of the time these obbies will only have a lot of concurrent pairs if the questions are like kindergarten questions. And I honestly don't blame you for this one. I'm terrible at math to the point it's a concern, but we don't talk about that. I mean, just look at this, dude, come on. What's the answer? Look around. Well, 1 times 2. 3. Oh wait. Yep, I'm gonna cut that out, maybe. I hope. No way, bro. My brain is not braining. Oh my god. Piggy obbies. Now, in classic Roblox fashion, there has to be a dedicated and extremely unknown community for literally everything. And this includes Roblox Obbies with the piggy physics and the piggy map building mode. These obbies are also quite difficult to say the least most of the time. It's pretty interesting, honestly. Mega fun obbies. The Mega Fun Obby game describes this format instantly, it's self-explanatory. But ever since the creation of Mega Fun Obby, there have been thousands of Roblox obstacle courses that are exactly like Mega Fun Obby. Where the obby is just like a bunch of easy difficulty jumps that go on for like 500 checkpoints. And now with all of that said, there are probably many more obby formats out there that are like extremely niche or just part of the formats I've already mentioned. And that's exactly why this video is literally every format that isn't completely unknown, because anybody can make up their own obby format within minutes, and I'm really not about to include dirty poopy toilet paper obby as some format or something, or like skibidi toilet obby as a format. So have a great day, and you'll probably like these videos on screen, especially the one on the left.